Hello everyone, welcome to a special edition of Spotlight. I'll be sitting right here interviewing two young ladies from the East Coast, and let's just say that they are making a musical impact right now during the holiday season. Reeny Smith has her new Christmas EP out, and Alex Whorms has just released her new single, Christmas Morning. So I'll be sitting down and chatting with these women not only about the holidays, but how they're making an impact on the music world today. This is Spotlight. Well, we like to give a very special warm welcome to Reeny onto Spotlight, and this year has really been a big year for you musically, hasn't it, Reeny?
It's been tremendous, especially coming off the pandemic and being out of work for so long, not really knowing if this year would look more so like the last few years or if it would look like how I'm used to it looking. But I have no complaints. It's been an amazing year and super happy with how it's gone thus far.
And back to touring, how has it been? And you know what? You were just in Winnipeg with Classified. Like
Mhm.
he's an icon for us Canadians.
For sure. I mean, such a great opportunity. I've known of Classified for years. Of course, being from Nova Scotia myself, he's someone who, if you're in the music scene, if you don't know Classified there, I mean, it's almost like where have you been? But to get the call to join them out on the road and open for him, it was a great honor for me, and to be able to just carry on that Nova Scotian legacy of good music and amazing culture. It was huge.
Oh,
I was a little rusty at the beginning. It's been a long time, but I got back into the swing of things, and it felt really good.
and what were audiences like, Reeny? I know it's been different, we have to admit,
Yeah.
right? For everybody.
Um, I think being back out there in this type of capacity, where people aren't masked anymore, larger number of people are allowed to be in the same group. I think people were refreshed. You could tell that people missed coming together like that, and they missed that live music experience.
Hmm.
Same with the artists. We missed it as well, and I think the special thing about being able to come together is that you know we can all find commonality with each other and enjoy the simple things of life, which is, laughter, storytelling, and fellowship. And it's amazing to see how so many different people who don't even know each other can come together and be so unified in a space. It's amazing.
Well, and you yourself, as a well established artist, though, making music now, Reeny, and really being in control, not only
Mhm.
of your song, but really on who you are, and so that you can really represent your true self. How important is that, and how hard is it to do everything?
It's definitely super hard, but for me, it's always been important for me to be my truest self. I've always tried as best as I can to live by prioritizing things that make me feel happy. Like I said, it's easier said than done, but for me, being as true to myself as I can be makes me the happiest. And I want that to reflect in my music, so that when people see me on stage and off the stage, it's always the same person. Um, and for me, just really trying to take control of that and really, just kind of press forward, because we're in an industry where, certain characters sell. The music can be good, the music can be bad, but the character also sells. And so in a way, you have to sell yourself. And for me, I just want to sell myself as true to myself as I can be, and people respect that. They respect the honesty in the music and also in my character. And I think that's kind of what has, gotten me a lot of success. But it's definitely tough, trying to do everything yourself. But I think, by doing that, you learn so much, and that knowledge is it's going to carry me far, just knowing the ins and outs, and hopefully get some help. I'm not opposed to other people having their hands in things, but it's been great for me in my development, both professionally and personally. So, in everything, just try to learn from it.
Oh, no doubt. And you always have like great mentors and people to fall upon,
Yeah.
and including family. I mean, you come from a musical family, so it's in your blood. But How do you take it that next step, right? To
Right.
really make it your own.
Yeah, especially just alluding to what you said, being from a musical family, I've always had people in my ear saying, "Oh, you should do it this way. You should do it that way. This is what other people are doing. Maybe try that." For me, it can get tricky because you want to take advice and you want to be a person who can listen and take constructive criticism, which I believe that I am. But also, it's kind of when you have a vision yourself that you want to carry forward, sometimes the advice can counteract that. So for me, it's being able to decipher which advice I feel can be conducive to what it is that I want to do as well. And I've had a lot of great mentors, a lot of great peers who have given me advice over the years, especially when you add a family dynamic to a professional uh, industry. It can be kind of tricky, but um, it's been nothing but a loving environment for me. My family is the reason why I even pursued music in the first place. And it's cool to see how now we can all kind of work together. And sometimes, I bring them out to shows and have them perform with me. And it's really special moments like that you look at and you're just like, wow, they might have known something. They might have been telling me something right. Yeah.
I know, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, but and falling on that too, which brings me Christmas, the holiday season, family, and you have a Christmas EP. And
I do.
it's not that, that hey, it's wonderful. Maybe a little bit like, wow, a Christmas EP from Reeny, but
Yeah.
it's really, really good. And it again, you're being true to yourself. A little bit of your personality obviously
Yeah.
is, peeking through in a lot of these songs. But how much fun was it doing this?
It was amazingly fun. I didn't want to. I mean, some of them you could say are more classic, timeless like pieces, but "Where You At, Santa" and also "Mall Santa." Those are songs I just really want to have fun with, kind of create stories and put them to music. And so, I just tried to show my fun side. Anybody who knows me personally knows that I'm one of the biggest jokesters on the planet. I try to find the humor in every situation, no matter how serious it is. Can't help it. Sometimes serious things just seem funny to me for some odd reason. But I just wanted to kind of just show, I guess, a little bit of versatility in terms of what it is that I'm talking about. A lot of my songs are traditionally just uplifting or energetic in terms of like just making you want to move. So with these pieces, I wanted to kind of just put some stories out there and tell them. It was super fun because I get to make them up and figure out how to work music around them and make the lyrics rhyme as good as I can. So no, it was a fun project. I produced the whole thing, except for one song, and collaborated with a bunch of co-writers, and it was a great project to work on. Just happy people get to hear it now and enjoy it. Drop
Oh
my
yes. No. And doing everything. We talked about that. Producing now.
Mhm.
Is that something that you can see yourself doing more of as you go on?
I was actually having this conversation not too long ago. I do love the production side of things, but my true joy comes from being on the stage. Of course, there will be times where it's like, oh yeah, there's maybe a couple projects that I'll take and be like, sure, I'll produce a few things. Of course, my own music, I'll definitely always be hands on with my own stuff.
Hmm.
And my sister, who's an artist as well, I do a lot of her production. But other than that, I will be honest. I'm not sure how many projects I'll take on that aren't directly related to me. It's just production is a whole different field. It takes a lot of hard work, which I'm obviously a person who's not afraid to work, but I think it would take too much away from the thing that I love to do the most. So yeah, we'll do a little bit of production every now and then in the future, and uh, hopefully a whole lot of performing.
Well, definitely. And, we have to say, too, women need to get more, I guess, hands on and in the production end of it and into the business end of it. And that takes me to the
Hmm.
future, Rini. Do you see yourself, and obviously you have a love for Canada and whatnot, but I mean, artists always have the big dreams, going to
Yeah,
the States, making it big in America. We see a lot of artists making it big in Europe too, as
right.
well. So, where do you see yourself fitting in this huge music world?
Um, well, I'll start off by saying, just because I want to be very transparent and honest, I never really got into music um, with hopes or dreams of becoming a star or a celebrity or anything like that. The dream was never to be famous. The dream was always to have an outlet where I could kind of just release what I was feeling inside. And that's kind of what music was. It was that release, and it always made me feel like I'm in a good headspace. Um, and then, of course, if people like you, then they talk about you, and you get more gigs, and then all this stuff happens, and then you start to do interviews like this, and it's like, okay, this is a thing now. So for me, I guess where I am right now, I see it as a business as well.
Mhm.
So of course it makes me happy, but now I see it as a way where I can provide for myself. So um, I guess the goal now is, you know, to just continue on being able to make a living for myself in the industry. For me, if it's being the person up front on the stage, singing their heart out, amazing. If that's, success in the production sector, that's amazing for me. If it's like a side man gig where I'm doing background vocals or playing my keyboard for somebody, that's amazing for me. It's never been about, being famous. I think I'd probably be the perfect person to be famous because I wouldn't want to be famous. Uh,
That's
it would be one of those kind of things, continuously hiding from the paparazzi. But yeah, I'd love to travel the world. I've already been to a few countries so far. And so yeah, I'm a person who just takes it day by day and see where the train goes pretty much. So if that means going over to the US, which I will say, I am in Cleveland, Ohio right now as we speak.
oh, really? Wow, on the road.
I I am. So yeah, like I said, just go wherever the wind takes me, and pretty much just working as hard as I can, and wherever that leads me, it's where I believe I should be.
Well, I, it's just so wonderful, though, to see someone see their dream come true. And, we talk about role models, and you yourself probably, should be a role model for other young women out there just to follow. And it says, like, follow your dreams. But it does take a lot of hard work. But I think more
Yes.
now, it takes a lot of mental strength. So for you, Reeny, what do you do to keep yourself focused and not get caught up in the
Right.
whole, minutia of everything, social
Mm-hmm.
media and Twitter and TikTok and all of that stuff that can really, you know, wreak havoc on your mental health.
Right. It's tough. I will say there are moments where you definitely kind of crack and you have to find your way back to a good headspace. But I think the thing that's helped me the most is I really have a very solid family who supports me and surrounds me and protects me all the time. I always travel with my family. Anyone who's ever seen me anywhere, I have someone from my family right beside me at all times. And it's super important. It doesn't have to be a family member, even if it's just someone who you trust a lot, um, to not just have your back, but to have you mentally as well, to be able to pick you up in those times. It's super important. I know for me, if it wasn't for the support base I have, I could have gotten lost in a lot of things for sure. But that's always something that I can fall back on, that family base. And I grew up. My family is very faith based, and just a lot of the stuff that I grew up learning, a lot of those core morals and values. I try to keep with me and you know, as good as I can. For the most part, I slip up a lot, but it's all good. Like I said, it's just having people there to kind of pick you up and create a safe space with no judgment, and you know every now and then when you need a little kick in the butt, you get a little kick in the butt. But it's important just to have people that you trust, and sometimes it's hard to find, but I'm really fortunate that I have I have that good support system.
Wow. Well, we wish you all of the success in Cleveland, Ohio,
Thank you.
and wherever else that you are going to play. And yes, you're going to leave us with a song. Now, I was hoping, yes, that you could play us a song, but you know, hopefully it's one of your new Christmas ones. And it's just been a real pleasure. And we can hardly wait till you're back here in Winnipeg and traveling all the music festivals, and we get to hear more of your music.
Can't wait to come back.
Mm-hmm.
We had a good time in Winnipeg, actually. We had a very good show there.
Awesome.
It was great. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll let you introduce the song, Reeny.
Awesome. All right. So this song is off of my very new Christmas EP, Where You At Santa. This song is called Dear Santa.
Dear Santa, it's almost Christmas Day. Hey, snow's falling over my window pane. Hey, feeling jolly, hanging out the holly, hoping for a kiss or three. Singing in a choir right beside the fire in the Christmas revelry. And I don't want a present, what would I even ask for? It's that time of year when all I really feel is thankful. So dear Santa, you can skip by my chimney, 'cause I have everything that I need. Oh, dear Santa, I just have to say, hey, but this Christmas I honestly can't complain. Yeah. Friends and family gathered all around me, dining on a Christmas feast. We keep warmer by cuddling closer underneath the Christmas tree. Yeah. And I don't want a present, what would I even ask for? It's that time of year when all I really feel is thankful. So dear Santa, you can skip by my chimney, 'cause I have everything that I need. I don't want a present, what would I even ask for? Whoa, yeah, everything that I need. Whoa, yeah, I have everything that I need. This Christmas, I have everything that I need. Oh, yeah, I have everything that I need.
Hello to Alex. Alex, welcome to Spotlight, and it's so wonderful to see you. I would have loved to meet you in person, but hey, you know, this is the new age and what we do, but it's so good to see you virtually. And thank you for doing this interview. And as we're heading into the holiday season, you have one wonderful song.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
All right, so let's talk more about your music, Alex. A graduate from Humber, so music, no doubt, is in your blood. But you've done a lot, though, as well as like songwriting, but also music for movies and film too, as well. So it's not just about writing that one pop song, or is it for you?
No, I have loved all different styles of music through my life. I started out as a classical pianist, and in another life, I think I would have pursued just being a classical concert pianist and doing that. Um, but when I was a teenager, I through a series of accidents, ended up performing in a musical theater production at the community theater in Oshawa. And from that, I started to love singing, and I really particularly loved in the Broadway music just how emotional it was. Each song in a show is really in there to communicate something about what a character is feeling, and I found that really moving. So singing became a part of my life at that point, and I was really into theater. Um, at the same time, the music in movies, I would often discover a lot of my favorite songs just overhearing someone at home, like watching something on TV, and I would go, oh, what is that song? Google the lyrics, and I discovered a lot of my favorite music that way. So, and today I write, like you said, a variety of different things. I have my indie folk singer-songwriter EPs. I've also composed a lot of classical piano solos. I've done a lot of film scoring, as you've mentioned, which I got really, really into when I was at Humber, and I was in the music program meeting the film students and collaborating that way. And with my most recent song, Christmas Morning, you know, the cool thing about having all of these different influences, these different styles of music that I enjoy, is that I was able to kind of combine my piano singer-songwriter thing with my classical training to come up with a nice string arrangement to create a song that's really just a very personal memento for me and my family, and it's just a musical representation of what Christmas means to me and to us. So yeah, I'm really all over the place. But even as I say that, I think there's a common thread of just, whether I'm writing something instrumental or something for my singer-songwriter project or something for TV, like it's still kind of coming through this perspective, that I have, that is mine, that is very, very much, I think, rooted in emotion and being very sensitive and just feeling a lot of things all the time.
Oh, well, I mean, when you have that versatility, what inspires you? Because you're spread out so much. Is it life? Is it love? What inspires Alex?
All of the above. It's really zeroing in on, like, as I said, I mean, even as a classical pianist, like I really felt I could, each song I chose to learn in classical piano or in classical voice really meant something to me. Like there are songs that I can feel, and it's just moments, and it might be, a specific thing that I've experienced, but also if it's, in a movie I'm scoring and it's a moment being experienced by another character, it's this songwriting, writing music, the step I took from learning music by other composers to writing for myself was kind of evolved out of journaling when I was maybe 12, 13. And it was just how I reflected on things and figured things out, and it was really just journaling and kind of how I got to the bottom of how to feel about different things that were going on in my life. And yeah, it's really about connecting to a moment or a feeling, and just zooming right in and focusing on one thing, one idea, and making sense of that, and then, shutting out the rest of the outside noise, and maybe going back to it and picking out another idea from it and writing a new song about that later. So just what inspires, like, it could be like so many things do inspire me, and I think really kind of what it comes down to is that figuring out, when I finally land on what is this song about and how do I feel about this, this situation, whether it's a real or a fictional one.
Well, let's get back to songwriting, scoring for film or a movie, composing music, and then wrapping that all into the whole study of classical music. I have a dance background, and they always say classical dance, ballet is the root, of all music, or all dance rather. But music, I guess, is a little different. But from all that you have spent studying all of the classics, how has that made an impression on you, Alex, on what you like to write about and how you produce your own music?
I think classical is everything. There are certain things I really appreciate in music. Things like, is the story strong? Is the arrangement, well thought out? Is it not too simple? I really, I think one thing that classical music has, one of many things that it has taught me and created in my own musical taste is definitely an appreciation for a certain amount of complexity and a certain amount of nuance. And definitely as well, as I've said a few times, the emotional value of a song. And I think I was having a conversation with someone a lot recently just about trends that we're seeing in songwriting now, where I think there's a lot of really clever lyric writing happening, which I think is really cool, as long as the song is not 100% based on wit, but there's actually, some substance and some emotion and some meaning behind it. So I think, this tendency I have to, like, I don't need a lyric in a song to be really, really impacted by it. And I think my classical background really helps kind of decorate the stories that I'm telling in my music, so that you almost kind of get it whether the words are in there or not. If that makes sense.
No, and I was curious about that because you just have so much other knowledge than just writing like 2 or 3 beats. And like you said, you like it intricate and you like storytelling. Storytelling is interesting, and like you said, the lyrics are getting more interesting. I would rather think that sometimes the lyrics are getting more simple. But I guess the two roads are there anyways. For you, Alex, I guess, who do you look up to in this music world that is so huge and vast?
Oh, a couple names come to mind, and I'm not sure who to mention first, if I should mention Carole King or Sarah Bareilles first, but they are at the top for sure for me. And I also have to mention Sarah Slean, who's an artist from Toronto, who the first time I heard Sarah Slean's music as a classical piano student, that was when I decided I wanted to also play and sing. Because up until that point, nobody who was writing pop music was relatable or classically influenced, and Sarah, I think Sarah Slean is the single biggest influence on my music for sure.
Wow, no, so great, so great. And now you can carve your own pathway, and you too do a lot of the music writing and everything else in between. We need more young women like yourself involved in music. And classical really, it really hasn't grown that much. And I guess it's only for a certain few. What was it about classical, though, for you, Alex, that you really took a shine to?
Well, my dad played piano a lot when I was an infant, and I think I was really struck, from being a baby, listening to this beautiful piano playing, and so I think just having that really early exposure to the piano specifically. Um, was kind of where I got started. And I do have memories of being probably 3 and the piano bench being taller than me and just taking like a good 30 minutes trying to climb this thing. And then finally being able to sit on it and then, opening the music book and pretending I knew what to play, what was on the page. Um, So I think just kind of seeing and hearing pianos from when I was a kid really just ignited this interest for me, and it's never really gone away.
Well, I mean, it really is so beautiful, and you're such a talent. And we only can hope that we can hear more of your work, and it'll be so exciting whether we see your name on the credits at the end of the movie or we come to your concerts. It's really, the doors are so wide open for you. And I do love all the Christmas decorations. So, getting towards your new song, Christmas Morning, obviously the holidays, very special time for you and your family.
Absolutely. And I think it really kind of comes through in the song too. So I have a younger brother, and my family and I, growing up, had this, a really fun Christmas tradition of just, eating breakfast together and opening some gifts and just having the holiday, like some time off to hang out during the holidays where we weren't, at school or at work or whatever. And my brother and I are adults now, and we moved out, and I wrote the first draft of Christmas Morning in Christmas of 2020, so it was the first COVID Christmas, and I had more time on my hands than I usually do during the holidays. As a professional musician, the end of the year is usually very busy, not just with the regular holiday bustle, but also there are usually a lot of concerts to play and just a lot of loose ends to tie up at the end of the business year. So it usually gets, to be a lot. But Christmas in 2020, most of that bustle, busyness, concerts, we did not have. And it just kind of hit me that what I still did have was my family and my bubble at the time. And I was still going to be able to do the most important thing that year, which was all of us coming home from, university, from work, from wherever, and spending time together again. And that's what the song is about. And I think just hearing people reacting to it so far, I think a lot of families go through the same kind of thing. And then we have these 2 weeks at the end of the year every year where we get to reunite and come back and feel a little bit of that magic together again. So that's what inspired this song.
Well, and we are heading into that season so shortly, and let's hope, fingers crossed, it will be a wonderful Christmas and no issues there. So I believe, Alex, you're going to play the song for us. Thank you for spending this time with us. And everyone, this is a beautiful song. Go out and get it. Go and support Alex and all of her adventures. And I'm sure this isn't the last we'll be seeing of each other. So thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, here she is, Alex, in Christmas Morning.
All right, I'm gonna switch over to my fancy mic over here. All right, this is my new song, Christmas Morning. Sleigh bells in the air, plate of shortbread ready by the chimney. Imagining the glare of headlights rolling down her driveway. Sitting by the roaring fire late on Christmas Eve, in the sweater you outgrew last year and handed down to me. My heart warming, Christmas spirit showing. There's no joy like the feeling when I see you Christmas morning. Like little kids who scribble down their lists on construction paper. Hang the tinsel on the tree and climb on Santa's knee at the town square. Smell the crisp air, join the fanfare in the shops along the street. I hear the music of our laughter, and it feels like home to me. My heart warming, Christmas spirit showing. There's no joy like the feeling when I see you Christmas morning. Outside, it's snowing, with eyes alight and glowing, and I'm alright just knowing you will be here Christmas morning. Now I've got a job out of town, and you're across the country, but when the holidays come around, it feels like time won't change a thing. Time won't change a thing. My heart warming, Christmas spirit showing. There's no joy like the feeling when I see you Christmas morning. Look outside, it's snowing, with eyes alight and glowing, and I'm alright just knowing you will be here Christmas morning.
I want to give a very special thank you to Alex. That was Christmas Morning. What a gorgeous song. And to my other guest, Reeny, for her new song, Dear Santa. All the best for the holidays to them and their family, and to you as well. Thank you for watching Spotlight for this year, and may 2023 be even better. Thanks for watching Spotlight, and we'll see you next time right here on Hue.